Things that I do to feel safe on campus is walking in packs with my friends. Having multiple people is always better because you're less of a target. Because when you're alone, you are a lot more vulnerable.
On campus, I always walk with someone. So at night, especially if I'm coming home from something or coming home from work, I always make sure that I'm walking home with somebody. If I'm at work, I'll be on the phone with someone because I have to walk from my car to my dorm.
All day long. Oh my god. Whoa. She like keeps walking.
If no one is able to go uptown with me that night, I just won't go at all because it's much more important to be safe and be in a group.
I highly recommend like the buddy system. Don't leave your friend behind. Like if you go out with friends, stay with friends.
Go to the social? No. I'm going to draft today. Who are you bringing? No.
I also just got a birdie, which makes the really loud noise to alert people that you're in trouble. So that's really nice. My initial response to having the safety bulletin emailed to us through the Miami Police Department, it was a little shocking because I have had a sexual assault experience before, and just seeing that piece of information that like someone who was in my grade or was younger than me was assaulted, it was just really scary to think about because um, these bulletins are sent out very often, and knowing that this happens so often on our campus is really sad. And yeah, it makes me emotional. It definitely made me more emotional at first. And now that I see it so much, um, it's kind of just like, oh, I see another one. Like, why does this keep happening? And what are we doing to fix it?
The effect that the safety bulletins have on students is I do understand that it can have negative consequences. It can be a trigger to some people who have been victims or friends of victims of sexual assault, or who may be passionate about sexual assault, that it can be a trigger for them. But what we are looking at is we are looking at the greater benefit of the community and making sure that the campus is aware of a violation that may have occurred that may affect the campus and the safety of the entire population of the campus.
When I get those emails, I don't really feel a whole lot just because I feel like our campus and our police and like just the university in general doesn't do a whole lot. I feel like they think that's a buffer. I think that they think that helps, but in reality, I don't think anyone does anything. Honestly, I don't know if anyone actually reads them, especially when they release those descriptions. I really don't think anyone's like, wow, I really need to look for this guy with brown hair and brown eyes who's roughly 6 foot and 130 pounds. I really don't think anyone does anything. And it makes me sad because they're obviously, I feel like we get those, I also feel like we get those emails so often that we're just normalized to it, and that's just not okay.
The safety bulletins don't make me feel safer because um, they're just being sent out like so frequently. And yeah, it makes me think, what is the police department doing to resolve these issues? It's just like, oh, we know someone's dangerous, but we don't know who it is. And it's kind of upsetting that we're seeing these notifications, but we're not getting any guidance as to how to go about staying safe.
For the university to make me feel safer, honestly, I just think they should care a little bit more. I think they definitely have measures in place, but to be honest, I don't think they're doing anything. They have those like blue light posts everywhere on campus, and they do like they market that heavily, especially on tours when high schoolers are coming to tour. Um, but I don't know of anyone that's ever used them. Number one, and then number two, I don't like necessarily know how that's gonna help, just because like they say that the police will come in 90 seconds, but again, like a lot can happen in 90 seconds. I don't see anything being done, especially when I also know like there's been multiple rape reports within the year. I have not heard a single thing that has been done about any of the like perpetrators. So I think Honestly, I don't know how this would happen, but I think they just need to put a little bit more effort and care into their safety policies.
So being on a university campus, they have multiple ways that they can make reports and multiple ways that they can go about resolutions to said reports. They have the criminal, they have code of conduct. I believe some things can be through the university's adaptable resolution process, which is through the code of conduct office. So they have different ways, or they could decide not to do, they can do one, they can do both, they can do none. So it is up to the victim on how they proceed and how things go forward.
What I would like the university to do to make me feel safer is, I think having more talks about sexual assault prevention, like just campus wide. I think if it's just always on everyone's radars for people to, first of all, not assault people, and second of all, to always be aware that there are dangerous people out there no matter what, and it's so important to be safe and just have your people surrounding you to make you feel that safety. I think it's just incredibly important that Miami just keeps on having that conversation, because when we brush it under the rug or victim blame, it just makes people more afraid to, do normal things that we should be able to do.
Unfortunately, there are ones that aren't related to alcohol, and there's no one thing that can be done. There's several different ways that a report can be made. You can begin the process with your RA, you can do it through the university through a Title IX violation. There's a form that you can fill out for that. You can call Miami University Police Department and an officer would respond. It notifies the community that there may be a potential danger to them out there. And we want to keep our community safe. So that's what the benefit of them is.
Those emails don't make me feel safer at all. But when I'm coming home from like uptown, for example, I typically either Uber with friends always or walk home with friends. I personally have never felt unsafe on campus, but I do know some of my colleagues have felt unsafe in the sense that they were being followed home by men or harassed. My freshman year, I was walking into my dorm after taking the trash out, and there was a bunch of guys outside the dorm, and it was pretty late. I don't know, it was like a Friday or Saturday night, and they were harassing me like outside of my dorm, just like catcalling me. And so that was pretty unsafe, and I was alone at that point. Like, yes, I was right in front of my dorm, but like they were in front of the door, so that was pretty unsafe.
So this is, by state law, we have to provide resources to victims of interpersonal violence and other crimes. So we have these nice little foldy things that has Women Helping Women, and which is an advocacy group here on campus. And then it has little QR codes, and the Miami one is right here, and you can scan that with your phone, and it's a link to like our website, which has Title IX resources and county resources available to you. I know if the victim has maybe went home to, we'll say, Texas or something, that I will look at the county that they live in and find resources available and email them those resources. Like here's maybe a rape crisis center in your hometown that maybe you could reach out to. But we generally do go above and beyond, and then the university has its resources which are also accessible through there. And those are actually passed out by all agencies in Butler County. That is through the Butler County SART team that they've made that so that resources are consistent through Butler County that are being passed out to victims. Some things are held back for investigative purposes if it is specific identifying information.